very rainy day in downtown Ljubljana. Behind me up there you can see the castle, and I'm standing next to the Ljubljanica River. And if we turn this way, back behind me, you see Prešeren Square. It's a beautiful city. The thing I want to talk to you about today, though, is the bridge behind me, or in fact, the 3 bridges behind me, because it's a very interesting story. This bridge is known as the Tromostovje bridge, or actually the triple bridge, because there's not one bridge, but there's one. And over here we see the second bridge. And on the other side, where you see those 2 people walking down, we have the third bridge. The central bridge, which is today made out of limestone, actually dates back as far as 1280. There was an old wooden bridge here, and it was first called the Old Bridge, or the Stari Most, and later it was called the Lower Bridge. Over the years, the central bridge was upgraded, improved, fixed up, until about 1842, when what you see behind me today, this is essentially the bridge as it was upgraded, the essential parts in 1842. But it begs the question, why did they need 2 other bridges right next to this main bridge? Well, in order to prevent this stone arch bridge here in the middle from becoming a bottleneck, because this was the main thoroughfare for traffic, the architect, the famous Slovene architect Jože Plečnik, in 1929, he designed the extension of the bridge with 2 footbridges at a slight angle on each side of the main bridge. So what's the lesson for public speaking in all of this history? Well, just as here in Ljubljana, the heads of the city realized that, hey, if there's a bottleneck here, if plan A doesn't work, we need plan B and even plan C. When you've got a big presentation that you've got to give, do you have a plan B if something goes wrong? If, for whatever reason, the slides on your computer don't work, do you have an alternative way of showing them? If the technology fails completely, can you give the presentation without the slides? Can you use a flip chart? If you're using a flip chart, what happens if the markers run out? Do you have backups? Do you have spare batteries? There are all kinds of things that could go wrong when it comes to presenting. And after you've done everything you can to prepare, stop, reflect for a moment, and think about what could go wrong. And if it goes wrong, do you have plan B or even plan C sometimes? In the notes below the video, I'm going to put a link to a checklist. It's a 1-page comprehensive checklist of all the possible logistical things that you might need for your presentation. And if you go through this checklist, which you can download, it'll give you some ideas of possible things that could go wrong and redundancies that you can plan for so that you have a backup that you can actually give the presentation. So there you have it. The lesson today from downtown Ljubljana. Have your plan A, but don't forget plan B or plan C.